But imagine when Arna came in, I'd say he probably sat down individually with every player, talked about what the ambitions were for the season, what the goals were this season and beyond. And then probably followed that up multiple times through the season. And I would guess that first conversation with Mo probably went somewhere along the lines of Mo saying to him, I want to be winning. If we win, I'm staying. If we can't win, why am I here? And hopefully, this summer, the club will go out and buy the players that give Mo and Virgil the chance, and Alisson and you know, the chance to, I was going to say Trent, but we don't know if he'll be here, the chance to add to their already incredible legacies in the Premier League. Liverpool monitoring Morgan Rodgers, but potential deal complicated. Yeah, so this is, I think, from Romano. It's not a huge surprise. It really isn't a surprise that we'd have a big interest in Morgan Rodgers. The deal obviously is complicated by Villa not necessarily wanting to sell, but if Villa don't make the Champions League, Villa are going to have to sell a couple of big money players because of where they've gotten themselves to with PSR. Because even though they sold Duran in January, they brought in Daniel Malin, they brought in Asensio, who, by the sounds of things, they want to keep, and they brought in Rashford, who they also seem to want to keep. So it's very possible that they're not going to be able to keep this exact squad and add to it without a big money sale or possibly two. Now, Boubacar Kamara was signed on a free, so they could sell him for pretty big money, and that would all be profit. Morgan Rodgers was signed for like 10 million, 12 million, something in that range. So it's possible he's already gone off their books, and thus everything would be profit. But even if he's still on the books for, say, 7, 8 million, if they get 80 for him, it represents an enormous profit. I think Morgan Rodgers would be an incredible signing for us. Like, if you think of how Arne used his team at Feyenoord and the way he used that left winger as a wing 10 hybrid type, Morgan Rodgers is tailor-made for that role. He can also fill in at the 10. So we'd have Szoboszlai 10, Gakpo left wing, and Rodgers able to play both, probably starting pretty much every game. More likely to start more games on the left, I would guess, than in the middle. But so you go Szoboszlai and Rodgers, you can go Szoboszlai and Gakpo, or you can go Rodgers and Gakpo. And I think that's all we need in those two positions. I had one very silly gentleman tell me yesterday, oh, we need to replace Harvey Elliott. Like, no, we don't. What are you replacing? He doesn't play. He just doesn't play. He's played less than 200 minutes in the Premier League. We're in May now. There's 4 games left. He doesn't play for this manager. And if Chiesa sticks around, Chiesa can also cover on the wing on both sides. There's just no reason, if we sell Harvey, to bring in a replacement. I mean, we could bring back Ben Doak, we could bring back Kumas and play them. They'd likely play about as much as he did. But I think Trey and Rio could step up and take those minutes. It's like 95 minutes each across the course of a season. That's it. It's like 2.5 minutes per game. No reason to think we couldn't sell Diaz, probably to the Saudis, get a huge fee for him, 65, maybe even 70, sell Elliott, get 30 to 35, go and buy Morgan Rodgers and have some money left over to put towards something else. Does anyone really think we'd be worse off? by swapping out Luis Diaz and Harvey Elliott for Morgan Rodgers, Rio and Trey, I just don't see that we could possibly be any worse off. I think it's wins all the way around. Rodgers is better than both players who are leaving in their own respective positions. Thus, he improves the team. And we've got these two elite youngsters, one in each position. Rio could play a bunch of positions, but Rio could fill in as a 10. I'm sorry, Trey can fill in as a 10 and Rio can fill in left wing. And I just think you're far better off. You're much better off for now and for the future. Because a big part of the future is going to be Trey Nioni and Rio. Why not jumpstart that next season? You've got Cody, mid-20s, Dom, mid-20s, Rodgers still early 20s, and then these two kids in their teens. That could be a core group, depending on what you want to do with Cody in the long run. But you could have that group in place for the next 3 to 4 years. You nail the number 9 this summer, they could be in place for the next 3 to 4 years. And then it's just a matter of what's the succession plan for Mo, but you can kick that to next summer. If Chiesa sticks around in particular, he can be the backup and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Rodgers can also play off the right if you need him to. So you could go Rodgers, Szoboszlai and Gakpo behind the striker. If Morgan Rodgers is gettable, we should do everything we can to get him. Him and Adam Wharton, for me, are two we should absolutely be going all in for. Two elite young English players who can be improvements right now on what we have and can be foundational pieces for the next great Liverpool team. If they're lads you could have in your team for 8-9 years and watch them grow and develop and go on to do great things for us rather than watch them do it at other clubs. Federico Chiesa's lack of starts cleared up after Liverpool staff left concerned. I saw Lewis Steele tweet this yesterday, that he had basically been told it was Chiesa's performance against Plymouth, which apparently the coaching staff were furious about. And he was terrible. Like, he was awful. But the whole team were awful. And I didn't think he was even our worst player that day. So I do find that one a little bit weird. Arsenal were never in the title race before or after Bukayo Saka's injury. Yeah, I did say this yesterday. And when you look at the points comparison, as they put in this piece here by Joanna Durkin, it does just go to show, like, there was never, from match week 8 onwards, the gap just grew and grew and grew and grew. And the only time they really closed it down was when we had a game in hand. Champions back and training and right back linked. Ola Aina has been linked. I do like him. I like Ola Aina. But he'll be 29 this year. And he just doesn't make sense for us. Because we need a starting right back. And as good as Ola Aina is, he's a backup for a club like ours. Like when we had Trent and no backup, I suggested both him and Jed Spence. And people turned their nose up at the idea. And now I've seen loads of people suggest we sign both of them to be the starter. They were good enough to be backups then. They're still good enough to be backups now. They're not starters for a club like us. Forrest have the option to extend his contract.
Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts, and even Liverpool legends along the way. With the great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that, from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.